Everybody to the Country and Hard Rock Show. Why are you so tall? Your chair must be screwed up higher than mine.
I'm just bigger.
Hey, you are just bigger. So,
A whole
folks,
lot more to love than you.
folks, I don't even know what to say there. So, we've had an exciting week, folks. We've got some.
We
cool,
or you?
I have, but you know, I made a comment to somebody because they said,
Did you comb your hair?
Yeah, I did.
It don't look very flat. It looks kind of. Where's your cowboy hat? I just realized.
know.
Yeah.
It's
Where's your
somewhere.
hat?
It's
Pretty
at
boy.
home. It's at
Pretty
home.
boy. Where's your fancy hat?
It's at home. All right. So there was
Kids.
Somebody said that they went up to the emergency room, had to sit in the emergency room for 4 hours.
4 hours.
And I said, well,
That's
at least,
pretty good locally.
It is pretty good locally. I said I've been in there for 8 hours one time. So they said that it was kind of boring because. I said, well, at least you had people to talk to, and they said, oh no, it was packed, but nobody was saying a word. And
Did you get sprayed by a skunk again?
no,
Good.
I never have that problem. When I walk into a room, I always
You definitely
Tend
enlighten
to-
a room.
bring some sort of conversation.
I thought maybe you got sprayed by a skunk
Nope.
and they're all gagging.
Nope.
Okay.
I didn't. So I got a couple driving stories this week.
Oh my gosh.
And folks, you guys hear these stories about my driving, and he exaggerates, and
No, I
he
do
tells
not.
tales about my driving. It's really not that bad.
I encourage you all to just ask his friends and family besides me.
Yeah, they're all
His
biased.
wife will almost jerk tears.
They're all biased. Okay, my driving is not that bad. I have never gotten in an accident, and I haven't had a ticket in the past 2 years. We're gonna say that.
How many times have you been pulled over in the last 2 years?
A couple.
Uh-huh.
I was pulled over about 3 weeks ago. I was pulled over.
That's
for
what I thought.
for expired tags.
Yeah. Where was that at? Your glove box?
And I opened up my glove box like a good person does, and I pulled the paperwork out, and I said, officer, here are the tags. Can you put them on for me?
I'm sure you did too.
And so that happens. But so I have a couple driving stories. So the one was just this morning. I picked Hard Rock up here at his house, and I rolled up to the house. And sometimes the vehicles I'm driving, you can tell it's me because you hear me coming. And I pulled up to the door.
That's not an exaggeration. I'm just going to be honest.
And he pulls up to the door, and he comes out, and I immediately see his whole facial and demeanor just drop. I mean, it just took like 2 hours off of his day. Just looking at what I was driving, that he would have to ride with me in.
It was the way you loaded your truck. Zeke's truck at that. Not
Yeah.
even your truck, it's Zeke's truck.
And-
but it's the scattered mess in the bed of the truck hanging out 10 foot past the bed.
Only 6 foot. And I told you that I have picked up so
How long
much
are them
stuff.
boards?
12 foot. And 6 foot
Them
beds.
long boards.
12 foot.
They look like 16ers to me.
I hope I grab 12 footers. So they're hanging out 12 foot. So there's 6 foot. So I have picked up so much stuff alongside the road. I know what's going to fall
Your
out.
poor St. Heidi's Red Yeti cup.
Yes, I got her. I've got her 2 Yetis from alongside the road.
Okay.
So I picked up so much stuff from alongside the road. I know what will fall out and what won't.
Okay.
And the stuff I picked up is not my stuff. I just randomly found stuff.
So,
I found a ladder alongside the road outside of Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. The highway department had mowed around this ladder. Had like 2 foot of grass up above it, and they mowed around it. That's how long it had been laying there. So, so the other story about my driving. So, Zeke and I were here at the church, and I had to make an emergency run up to Keokuk to drop something off.
What?
An emergency run.
Emergency
My
run.
wife needed something up at the school where she was working, so I had to run up there. And I decided to take the car instead of running because, you know, I'm
Fluffy.
Fluffy. Yes, we'll go with that. So I told Zeke, I said, do you want to jump in? And he said, well, I don't know if I've got a lot of time, you know, driving up there and coming back, it's going to take a while. And I said, well,
Well, you drive it, don't take much time.
I said, we'll just go up there. We can talk on the way and we'll come back. So we go up there, and you know, he's gotten into the same habit as you.
You pray a lot when you're driving.
He does
You
pray.
can't listen to you talk because first of all, you don't shut up. You don't know if you're talking to us or somebody on the phone or talk to text, and we're concentrating on, Lord, we need to pray hard.
The
That's
other
fact,
thing he
Jack.
does, the other thing he does is he immediately buckles up, which is good safety feature, folks. It's always good to buckle up.
Yeah,
And then
I checked that seatbelt today like 5 times.
And then he holds his hand on the buckle, holding the buckle like it's ever going to come out. And he puts his hand up here, and this is how he rides with me. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I see you do the same thing. I mean, is that like you got a kink in your back?
No, I'm praying.
Okay.
That's my praying stance.
Okay, well, I'm just asking. And so we get up there, and we get back, and we walk back in, and I said,
You're wearing me out just talking about all this, thinking about I got to ride with you.
do we have time to do this? I asked him, and he looks at his watch. He says, wow, that's about as time it takes me to go up there just one way. I said, yeah, you didn't look at the speedometer on the way back, did you? And he said, no, I try not to anymore.
Kids, we do not encourage that kind of entertainment or capabilities or skills. He is not a trained professional. He just.
And you called it insanity, and now you're calling it skills. I appreciate that. That warms my heart.
Do not attempt this at
That
home.
warms my heart.
Public warning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yes. So you had a story to tell about colds. You've been sick for like the past 3 weeks.
Not
like
this
sick
week.
as a dog.
Not this week.
Like folks, he didn't even look. You know the old phrase, "Death warmed over."
It was pretty bad.
Well,
I got
he
that
looked.
influenza crap.
Last time he looked like death. After it had been warmed over, it kind of chills down. It looked like death cooled
You know,
over.
I have been revived before. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I told you my CPR is expired, so I always carry around a toilet plunger, one of those good ones. I can put it on over your face and kick you in the chest a couple times, and
Oh my God.
I promise I've washed it off.
God.
I've hosed it off.
I love you. Do not ever let me die around this fool. Please.
You think I'm joking?
I know you're not joking.
the
That's why I just
suction-
prayed to God.
The suction, one of those toilet plungers, not the old cheap ones, not the big round ones. We're wanting the ones with the round base in the bottom that you can get a good suction
My beard
pressure.
my beautiful beard would keep that from working.
We pump it hard enough, fast enough, it'll be fine. Yep, it'll be fine.
We had a big discussion earlier. He's talking about getting all this beard hair in his food all the time. I said, well, you ding-a-ling, gotta comb them. See, I comb my beard about 4 or 5 times a day. It keeps it soft and fluffy.
And I told you, my dog licks it at night when he's giving me kisses, and he waxes it all up for me.
Yeah, that's why you got hair in it all the time.
Well, that happens. I wondered where that white hair was coming from.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So, I need a minute.
You need a minute? Did I exhaust you?
Well, I'm listening to the construction.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're at the Cowboy Church in Wayland, Missouri. And we have a major construction crew upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're getting the bathroom. We're working on
Sounds
the
like
bathrooms
shovels.
up there.
There
I
are
think
bathrooms upstairs?
There is bathrooms up there.
What?
There's going to be 2 toilets and 2 showers in both bathrooms. So
When can we
do
get the men's
overnight-
bathroom down here separated so 2 guys can be in there at once? You got 2 thingers, but you got no wall.
Yeah, we're working on that.
I know we're primitive here,
We're
but
working
gee,
on it.
many Christmas.
Yeah, we're
Man
working
needs some privacy.
Yeah, we do. Us
You're
men-
using the world's most important paper. You need some privacy.
You know what I told my wife the other day?
Oh, I don't want to know.
I told
You
her.
didn't give her a Sears and Roebuck catalog, did you,
Nope.
for the bathroom?
Nope. I told her if
Okay.
she was going to give me a honey-do list, she might as well write it
I like
out.
eating honeydew.
Well,
That's good
yeah,
stuff.
it is.
I like it better than that cantaloupe crap.
Depends.
I like honeydew.
I told her if she's going to give
And
me
that sounds good now. I'll have to go. I wonder if any of the stores got
It's
for
not
sale.
in season.
Oh, wait.
It's not in season, dimwit.
It's imported all the time.
So I told her if she's
Dimwit.
going to give me a honey-do list, she might as well write it on toilet paper so we can at least get some good use out of it. I texted her that the other day.
And you know, I believe it. That's the sad part about it. I almost can't even laugh about it.
Yep.
Because I know you probably really did say that.
Yeah. One of the ladies came up to her in church and said, you know, I feel so bad for you. I tell my wife that every day. Every morning I wake up, I said, honey, I feel so bad for you. I apologize for who I am today. I love you so much. I care about you, and I'm so grateful you continue to stay by me.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So, like you get long-winded preaching sometimes
Okay.
and stuff.
You ever have anybody sit there and point at their watch while they're looking at you?
One time when I was preaching, not only did they point at their watch, they pointed at the clock above them.
Really?
I could see both.
Okay.
But they only give me 15 minutes to preach.
Yeah.
It's hard to get all that in 15 minutes.
Oh, it's hard for me to even get warmed up.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
So, you know, I don't eat nothing cold hardly ever.
Okay.
I cook everything.
Yep. Same with me.
I would never eat that place that Jared made famous because their food was cold. Not that I won't eat cold cuts.
You don't eat sushi?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sometimes. They got some that they cook now.
This might that.
They got
that's
that one.
not
They
sushi.
Okay. Anyways,
Sushi.
moving on. So I would never eat there until they got them convection ovens.
Okay.
So I like hot food. I want it to burn my mouth. So I come up. I was like, my daughter. We can all go sit down. We're big about let's eat as a family together. I'm all about that. I think that is the most important thing in a family besides reading the Bible together is sit down and eat a meal together and talk. We don't even take the phones to the table. But when it's time to sit down, we'll all sit down and she usually gets up. She's like, oh, I forgot this. And I'm going to go feed the dog or take the dog outside. And we're like sitting there waiting to say prayers. So my food gets cold all the time. Woody don't eat cold food. So she come in there today and she's complaining about how cold it was outside. And I said, well, my food got cold. Do you think we ought to give it cold medicine? And she just looked at me like,
Really?
I'm like, well, it got cold. Do you give it cold medicine? Not cold and cough, just cold medicine.
That's terrible.
I mean, is that, I guess technically, so I'm going to put one of those medication stickers on my microwave. So it's cold medicine.
That's actually pretty good.
I think that's ingenious.
A really good idea.
I'm going to patent that. Or no, wait, what do you call I need an attorney. Trademark that.
I hashtag it
No, we got to trademark it first.
and then hashtag it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I didn't
So-
know what the heck a hashtag was until we started doing all this.
Well-
My wife's like, husband, I love you, but you're not hashtagging nothing. I'm like, what the heck's a hashtag? She
Right.
does. See, a lot of people think that I'm always the one doing all that stuff, and I'm the one behind the computer.
When we were younger,
You all have no idea. I'm not that person.
we used a hashtag all the time when we were younger. It's called the pound sign. And then somehow in my generation, that changed the name. Now you ask a kid what a
Hashtag.
pound sign is, they don't even know what a pound sign is.
I know what it is.
Yeah. We remember
Tic-tac-toe.
Do you remember?
It's tic-tac-toe.
It is. Do you remember
fact.
phone cards, calling cards?
Yeah.
And you push pound sign.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a common thing.
I had to do this.
And when you got a wrong number, it was a really bad deal.
Oh, and people would get really mad.
Yeah.
Boy, when I was a child, if we'd have had telemarketers in, I think people would have just died through the telephone. I think people were murdered. My neighbor guy, his phone number and like the school was almost the same number. And that guy about, twice a week would get a wrong number and he'd cuss for days about it every time. Clark, I got some idiot called me the other day and I'm standing there like as a little kid like, holy cow. Oh my. Jesus, help this feller.
So you want to
But I'm not done. Gotta go back to this hashtag.
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 That was on a rabbit trail. Okay.
Okay.
We're still following the rabbit around the hole and down through the tree, stump and up.
Pound sign.
around. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, pound sign.
Okay.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the sticker.
Yes.
I'm going to get the sticker
Hashtag cold medicine.
with the little emblem for the medical.
Uh-huh.
It says cold medicine.
Can you get 2 of them? Because I would put that in my microwave.
Me too.
Uh-huh. My wife would roll her eyes at me. So,
Not me. I think it's funny. I think that might be the funniest thing I've come up with for years.
So I've preached at some different churches.
You're different.
And I've done different services. We did a wedding one time in the middle of a field, cow pasture, in like 28 degrees with
I
wind
did a
blowing
wedding
like
one
20
time when I
miles an
still
hour.
did weddings in sawdust.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
No.
Pretty cool.
It was very hot and sweaty that day and itchy.
Oh, I'm sure. There wasn't hot and sweaty, don't worry.
That sawdust, as the wind would blow, because it was windy that day too, it was just like top of my hands. The only thing that was not nasty was this, because I did this the whole time. I was just like, oh boy.
Yeah, you get a little sensitive about your hands. So I do these different services. I went and preached to this one church, and I knew some of the people.
Were you long-winded or just regular?
Just wait. So the guy,
Wait, for
guy
what?
in the back,
For you to tell a story?
he grabbed my arm as I'm walking by, and he said, "No."
Can I practice?
No.
Like this?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
And he said, "No, you're not going to be long-winded, are you?" And I turned around. I said, "Hold on a second," and I acted like I had to go. I forgot something, and I went back to the office and I grabbed a calendar and I took it back to him. And I said, "Here, let me know when I've reached my end of my time." His face he didn't know what to do, because he's the type of person that's pretty vocal and nobody stands up to him. Nobody like talks back to him, and he just looked at me and was like,
I get that.
and I just walked away.
You know how many
And,
people they say they're scared of me, they're intimidated. And I've told them for years, you're afraid of the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
It's my wife you need to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fact. Simple
I'm not-
fact from Woody.
I'm not too afraid of her. I know a lot of people tell me I should be, but she's like a teddy bear.
I think more
And,
like an old grizzly bear mama.
Oh no.
It's just had cubs.
No.
Yep.
No, your wife's really nice.
She's kinder to you though. She's not married
Well,
to you.
Do you, let me ask you, in all honesty, we'll get onto this marriage thing. Do you ever do anything to ever irritate her?
Oh, I'm not like you.
Really?
No.
You should try it sometime. It'll do one of two
No.
things.
I'll die.
Well, that's the one option. The other option is it could make some laughter
She'll be
in the
calling them
relationship.
boys, telling them go warm up the excavator and dig a hole 50 foot deep
No,
and
the
throw in
whole-
some live pigs with me.
John and I already came to the conclusion there's a
No.
hole right there. We've been by the hole. It's a really deep hole. All we need to do
That's
is...
not a deep hole.
We were thinking about
that
the
hole's
hole.
only 20 foot deep.
We already were thinking about the hole when you were sick.
No, when
I kept on asking John, I said, do we need to roll his body in there yet?
I wasn't dying. I just was sick. Deal had me rode off for dead.
We were
Good
dividing
night.
up your stuff.
I'm sure there's a lot there. I will tell a story on myself though. About my first, after I had that excavator, the biggest one, fat bottom girl, as we call her, because she's 43 tons, and if y'all,
I don't think that that's a woke term.
well, that's just what stuck.
I think
Because when you look at the back of her, it's really big.
that's
It's
that's
like
not a woke term.
but that's something from my culture back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving
Okay.
along. So
Okay.
when I got used to running it and got skilled, really skilled, and it was running good, and I'm going to dig a hole one day.
Okay.
And we'd always joked that it would dig to China. Well, and I thought some logic to this. I'm like, if I get real deep in this, it's going to be hard to get this excavator out of this hole.
Uh-huh.
Because, I've seen people literally just dig a hole straight down, and they don't think about, you got to get it straight out. They don't just go back up. So I'm going to dig a hole. How big of a hole can I get myself into? Because I got to find out.
I ask myself that every single morning I get
I'm
up.
sure you do though.
Every
But I'm
single
talking
one.
about physically with machinery, not mentally with your wife and children and dog.
Uh-huh.
That satanic dog. So,
and
anyways,
other people that come across my path.
so I dug this like 50-foot circle, and I just kind of go down. Well, there's 10 foot, there's 20 foot, there's 30 foot, there's 40 foot, there's 60 foot. And I'm kind of looking up thinking, that's a big hole. Can I go any farther? So
That's like what I do with my wife's nerves.
well, I've never pushed the boundaries.
I do.
And there was the that capability of I just got to try this one.
Yes. Yeah. I know what that feels.
How redneck mainly can I dig a hole?
Okay.
I got another 10 foot. About 60 foot deep by 50 foot across.
Okay. Did you find anything?
Well, I hit some rocks.
Did you?
Yeah, I just ripped them out of the earth.
Did you find some geodes?
Not that many. I was kind of bummed
Huh.
out. I was kind of sad. But 6 months later, when that dirt's settling, I did find something really cool. I found a boulder about as big as me and you put together. And on the end of that boulder, I was like, of course, you know, it's got clay all stuck to it. But it rained over the time, and I was like, well, that end of that boulder looks weird. So I go up there, and it was the most beautiful, bright orange, huge, like this big chunk of petrified coral sticking out of the end of that boulder. So we took the power washer to it in the woods, and we cleaned it all up. Boy, that's really something. Well, when you got a 43-ton excavator and you get carried away doing anything, I thought, self, that looked good in my yard.
Did you know it was you talking?
That day.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I took it to my house.
Okay.
Took 3 hours to drive it there.
Okay.
I was less than a mile away.
With the excavator.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy. Okay.
Yeah.
You took it to your house. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Put it in your yard.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Well, it sank in the ground about 2 foot. So I got to go fix it the next
Okay.
time I have the excavator out.
Okay.
Because somehow, as it sank, it kind of did this, and now the coral's face down. So I'm like, man, that's a bummer.
That's kind of sad.
There's another time, though, we were in there, and Isaiah has always had sheep and goats, and we're about out of time. Maybe that's a story for another day.
Probably.
Folks,
Probably.
I'm Steve Woodruff. I'm a hard rock miner, and I'm goofy enough to hang out with this feller.
I don't know how to take that. I'm Shelby Whitney. I'm a Cowboy Church preacher.
Where
And
at?
right here.
Oh, we got to do commercial.
Wherever God calls me.
Our-
A commercial?
Our thing coming up.
A commercial. Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah.
How could you forget that?
Yes. Chuck
Ding,
wagon
ding.
feed.
Yeah!
Yes. And
I butchered a goat, y'all.
you're cooking up possum.
No goat.
And possum.
No,
That
I'm
was
not.
on your list.
That's-
Possum and goat.
No, that's devil
Yes.
food.
Oh, no.
We're at church.
No. So we are doing a chuck wagon feed coming up, and it's going to be awesome.
Highly recommend it, y'all.
There's going to be
It's worth a 150-mile drive one way, I promise you.
There's going to be like 10 roast